Okay, in this section, we want to solve linear equations. In order to do so, we have to move the constant to one side of the equation, and we also have to move the variables to the other side of the equation. But you should know, when you actually move a constant or a variable to the other side of the equation, its sign changes. Let's look at question number 1. We have 3y minus 8 is equal to 1 over 2 times y. As you see in here, we have three terms, 3y, negative 8, and 1 over 2 times y. And two of them are variables and one of them is constant. So I'm just going to move the constant to the right-hand side, and I'm going to move the 1 over 2 times y to the left-hand side. So on the left-hand side, we have only variable, and on the right-hand side, we have only constant. Now, so on the left-hand side, I already have 3y. Now, when I move the 1 over 2 times y to the left-hand side, its sign is going to change. So it's going to be as 1 over 2 times y. And when I move the negative 8 to the right-hand side, its sign is going to change. It's going to be plus 8. Now, in order to simplify this equation, I'm just going to multiply the both sides by 2. So it's going to be written as 6y minus y is equal to 16. So on the left-hand side, we have 5y, and on the right-hand side, we have 16. That means if you divide both sides by 5, that means the y value is equal to 16 over 5. Now let's head to question number 4. We have 4 minus 3x is equal to 4x plus 3. Again, we have to move the variables to one side and the constant to the other side. So we have 1 minus 3x on the left-hand side, which I'm going to move it to the right-hand side. And we have 1 plus 3 on the right-hand side, which I'm going to move it to the left-hand side. So on the left-hand side, we have only constant, and on the right-hand side, we have only variables. So starting with 4 on the left-hand side, then I'm going to write negative 3. Since I moved the plus 3 to the left-hand side, its sign is going to change. Then on the right-hand side, I already have 1 4x. Then when I move the negative 2x to the right-hand side, it's going to be plus 3x. So on the left-hand side, I have 4 minus 3, which is equal to 1. And on the right-hand side, I have 4x plus 3x, which would be equal to 7x. That means my x is equal to 1 over 7. Now let's move to question number 6. We have 3 times x plus 7 is equal to 7 times x plus 2. Now, when you see a bracket in here, you have to first expand your brackets. So I'm going to expand the bracket on the left-hand side. It would be equal to 3x plus 21. And I'm going to expand the bracket on the right-hand side. It would be equal to 7x plus 14. So it's basically you just multiply the number in front of the bracket by each of the terms inside the bracket. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the same method. I'm going to move the 3x to the right-hand side. Then I'm going to move the constant to the left-hand side. So on the left-hand side, I only have constants. And on the right-hand side, I have only variables. So on the right-hand side, I already had 121. And when I move 14 to the left-hand side, it's going to be negative 14. On the right-hand side, I had 7x already. When I move 3x to the right-hand side, it's going to be negative 3x. So that means 7 is equal to 4x. So that means x is equal to 7 over 4. Now let's head to question number 10. We have negative 2 times x minus 3 is equal to negative 6. As I told you on the previous question, we have to first expand the bracket. So it's going to be negative 2x plus 6 is equal to negative 6. Now I have one variable on the left-hand side, so I'm just going to move the constant to the right-hand side. So this one would be negative 2x on the left hand side and negative 6, which we already have on the right hand side, and another negative 6 would be added. So that means negative 2x is equal to negative 12. So that means x is equal to 6. And the last example, I'm going to solve 16. So on 16, we have 17 times x minus 2 plus 3 times x minus 1 is equal to x. Now, in order to solve this again, we have to expand the brackets first. So, expanding the first bracket, we have 17x minus 34. And expanding the second bracket, we have 3x minus 3, which is equal to x. Now I'm just going to simplify and calculate the values on the left-hand side. So on the left-hand side, we have 117x and 13x, which would be equal to 20x. And we have negative 34 and negative 3, which would be equal to negative 37. And the right-hand side, we have only x. So we have two variables and one constant. So I'm just going to move the variable to the left-hand side. And I'm going to move the constant to the right-hand side. So my equation would be 20x minus x is equal to 37. So that means 19x is equal to 37. So that means x is equal to 37 over 19. Okay, now moving to question 19, we are dealing with fractions and we want to solve this linear equation and find the m value. We have 5 over m, which is equal to 2 over m plus 1. On these type of questions, we have to get rid of the denominators first. In order to do so, we have to use cross multiplication. So we have to multiply 5 and m plus 1, and also we have to multiply 2 and m in here, and we have to set them equal to each other. But before actually we proceed with that, we have to make sure that the denominator is not equal to 0. So that means looking at the left-hand side, denominator is m, so m can't be equal to 0. And looking at the right-hand side, m plus 1 can't be equal to 0 as well, which means m shouldn't be equal to negative 1. Now we can proceed with the cross multiplication. So we have to multiply 2 and m in here, and we have to multiply 5 and m plus 1 in here, and we set them equal each other. So we have 5 times m plus 1, which is equal to 2 times m. Now we expand the bracket on the left hand side, which would be equal to 5m plus 5 is equal to 2m. Now I'm just going to move the variable 2m in here to the left hand side. Now I'm going to move the constant to the right hand side. So the sign changes for each of them. So we have 5m minus 2m is equal to negative 5. That means 3m is equal to negative 5, which means m is equal to negative 5 over 3. Now let's look at question number 2 in here, 22 in here. We have x plus 4, which is equal to a square root of 8. As you see in here, we have two constants and we have one variable in here. So I'm just going to keep the variable on the left hand side. Now I'm just going to move one constant to the right hand side. So we have x is equal to square root of 8 minus 4. Right? Now what we can do, we can write a square root of 8 as 4 times 2, and I'm just going to write the constant negative 4 in here as well. Now a square root of 4 times 2 can be written as the square root of 4 times the square root of 2. And we have -4 as well. And we know that the square root of 4 is equal to 2. And we have a square root of 2 as well in here, which can't be more simplified. And we have a -4 at the end. Now let's solve question number 27. 5 over 3m plus 2 is equal to 2 over m plus 1. Again, we have to get rid of the denominators in here. But first, before we actually cross multiply both sides in here, we have to make sure that the denominators are not equal to 0. So looking at the left hand side, 3m plus 2 should not be equal to 0. That means m should not be equal to -2 over 3. And looking at the right hand side, m plus 1 shouldn't be equal to 0, which means m should not be equal to -1. Now we can proceed with the cross multiplication. So we have to multiply 5 and m plus 1, and we have to multiply 3m plus 2 by 2 as well. So we would have 5 times m plus 1 is equal to 2 times 3m plus 2 in here. And we're going to expand the brackets on the left hand side and the right hand side. So we have 5m plus 5 on the left hand side, and we have 6m plus 4 on the right hand side. Now I'm just going to move this 5m to the right hand side, and I'm just going to move the 4 in here to the left hand side. So we would have 5 minus 4 is equal to 6m minus 5m, which means our m value is equal to 1. We have two fractions, one on the left hand side, which is x plus 1 over x minus 3, and one on the right hand side, which is 4 over 1. Since we have two fractions and they are equal to each other, we have to use cross multiplication in order to get the x value in here. But before we proceed with the cross multiplication, we have to note that x minus 3, which is the denominator on the left hand side, can't be equal to 0. But that means x can't be equal to 3. Now we can proceed with the cross multiplication. So we have to multiply x plus 1 by 1 in here. And we have to multiply x minus 3 by 4. And we set them to be equal to each other. So we have x plus 1 on the left hand side, and we have 4 times x minus 3 on the right hand side. I'm going to write the expression on the left hand side again, and I'm going to expand the expression on the right hand side, which would be equal to 4x minus 12. Now what I can do, I can move the -12 to the left hand side, and I can move the x variable to the right hand side. So I have constant only on the left hand side, and I have variables only on the right hand side. So that means 1 plus 12 is equal to 4x minus x, which means my x value is equal to 13 over 3. Now let's say that we want to solve 34. We have 1 over 5x plus 1 over 4x, which is equal to 10 in here. As you see in here, we have three fractions, and we have to get rid of the denominators in here again. But as you see in here, our two fractions are not equal to each other. They are being added to each other in here. So on this kind of questions, we have to find the common denominator of the fractions on the left hand side, and we have to multiply each term of the equation by this common denominator. So the common denominator would be equal to 5x times 4x, and we have to multiply each of the terms of the equation by this value. So I'm gonna write this as multiplied by the common denominator. So we have 1 over 5x, which is going to be multiplied by 5x times 4x, plus 1 over 4x, which is going to be multiplied by 5x times 4x, is going to be equal to 10, which is again going to be multiplied by 5x times 4x. Now I'm going to simplify the left-hand side and the right-hand side. So we have 5x on the top and on the bottom. This would cancel out each other. And now moving to the second expression, we have 4x on the bottom and on the top. And at the last, we have 5x and 4x as well on the right-hand side. So this can be written as 4x plus 5x is equal to 10 times 5, which is 50. 50 times 4 is equal to 200 x squared, right? Which means 9x is equal to 200 x squared. Now we can divide the both sides of the equation in here by the x value in order to get the x value. But before that, we should know that the x value cannot be equal to 0, because you can't actually divide an equation by x if the x value is equal to 0. So if you say and define that the x value can't be equal to 0, you can say that the 9 is equal to 200x in here, which means x is equal to 9 over 200.